This video will cover the use and purpose of the DS-056, Personal Property Declaration Schedule, widely referred to as the Declaration Schedule. In accordance with Section 39.3.119.5 Colorado Revised Statutes, as of January 1, 2019, you are not required to file this schedule if the total actual value of your personal property per county is $7,700 or less. This exemption amount is adjusted every other year, so check with the county assessor to determine the current exemption level. You should also contact the county assessor if you are unsure whether the total actual value of your personal property exceeds the exemption amount. If you are in doubt, we recommend that you go ahead and file the appropriate personal property schedule because there are penalties associated with not filing. Each year, assessors in Colorado must revalue all taxable personal property located within their county, considering data provided by property owners on their declaration schedules and accompanying attachments. Certain personal property is exempted from Colorado property taxes. For detailed information, please see the Assessor's Reference Library, Volume 5, Chapters 1 and 2, which can be found on the Division of Property Taxation's website in the Publications tab. As soon after the January 1st assessment date as possible, a declaration schedule is sent to the owners of taxable personal property who are in the assessor's database. Personal property owners that have not received a declaration schedule by early February are advised to contact the county assessor to request the current version of the declaration schedule. The declaration schedule is a primary source of personal property discovery, classification, and valuation information for an assessor. One of the primary responsibilities of personal property owners is to complete this declaration schedule and to file it with the county assessor no later than April 15th every year. Filing this declaration schedule helps the assessor to accurately record and update the names of the businesses and owners of taxable personal property. Declaration schedules and any attachments are confidential documents, subject to limited exceptions identified in Section 39.5.120 Colorado Revised Statutes. Personal property owners are to submit a complete itemized list of all personal property owned by them, in their possession, or under their control on January 1st each year, as required by Section 39.5.108 Colorado Revised Statutes. To avoid a penalty, the owner should file this declaration or an extension request with the county assessor by no later than the April 15th deadline. This requires that the schedule be hand-delivered to the assessor's office or postmarked on or before April 15th. Owners may extend the filing deadline if, by April 15th, the assessor receives their written request and $20 for a 10-day extension or $40 for a 20-day extension. This extension applies to all personal property schedules an owner is required to file in the county. So if an owner has multiple personal property accounts, they need to file only one extension request for all of their accounts. If a declaration is filed late, an owner may incur a late filing penalty of $50 or 15% of the taxes due, whichever is less, and a valuation based upon the best information available. Additionally, if the property is determined to be omitted personal property, that is, it was never reported to the assessor, the owner could incur a penalty of up to 25% of its assessed value. After the declaration schedule is filed, the assessor may request additional information and may conduct an on-site inspection of the personal property. Personal property notices of valuation are mailed out on June 15th to the address listed on the declaration schedule. We will now take you through the DS-056 Personal Property Declaration Schedule, line by line. Note this is a paraphrasing of the DS-056 Personal Property Declaration Schedule instructions, which are available with the declaration schedule, and will serve as a good reference while familiarizing yourself with the DS-056 Personal Property Declaration Schedule. Letter A requests the name and mailing address of the current personal property owner, as well as the business name and physical location as of the January 1st assessment date. Existing accounts may have the pre-printed owner name, mailing address, business name, and physical location information. If the pre-printed information is there and correct, you may simply move on. If not, write any corrections in the appropriate spaces provided. This allows the assessor to ensure that their records are correct and that the current owner receives a declaration schedule. Letter B requests that the business startup date, square footage occupied, and product or service be provided. This information allows for verification or correction of assessor records. It also helps the assessor correctly classify and value the type of personal property that is being declared. If on January 1st you do not own the business or the business does not exist, you are not liable for the personal property taxes. Letter C requests that you note this information by checking the appropriate business status boxes and the date of any change. Review each status carefully to ensure that only the applicable boxes are checked. This section asks you to report additional information clarifying the ownership. This allows the assessor to correctly classify, track, and value taxable personal property to the appropriate owner and location. If you are a new business, you must provide a complete itemized listing of all personal property at this location. In an effort to make the filing of the personal property declaration schedule easier, Letter D allows you to simply check the first box, noting that there have been no changes since the prior year's filing. Then go directly to Letter J to complete the filing. If any changes have occurred, then check the boxes and complete this area as appropriate to indicate no additions or no deletions. Remember, you can always attach additional pages as necessary to adequately describe information in your filing. Taxpayers are required to provide a complete itemized listing of all personal property. However, it is not uncommon to group assets with the same economic life and similar property characteristics together into larger categories for ease of filing. For instance, office furniture, including desks, tables, filing cabinets, chairs, and so on, all have the same economic life and industry category. These assets are sometimes grouped together and filed as a single line item. Similarly, a restaurant may list all of their furniture, such as tables, chairs, and booths, together, and then on a separate line, list all of their kitchen equipment and appliances that have the same economic life. Keep in mind, however, that any additions, deletions, or changes to the grouping will need to be reported on the declaration schedule. Bulking assets can also make it difficult for the assessor to determine if any of the property should be exempt, or if all of the costs incurred in the acquisition and installation of the property have been properly accounted for. If you have any questions, contact your local county assessor. Letter E must be completed if there is any special mobile equipment or special mobile machinery, commonly referred to as SME or SMM, at your business location that is not leased, loaned, or rented from another owner. If so, then check the appropriate boxes and provide the requested information, clearly noting if the mobile equipment is licensed or Z-tabbed. This helps the assessor assess all owned mobile equipment while avoiding potential double taxation. Letter F allows property owners to submit their general ledger information to ensure that the appropriate original installed cost information has been considered. Owners may simply submit general ledger sheet attachments here or manually complete this section. Do not submit fiscal year balances, since personal property tax is calculated on a calendar year basis. In addition, do not list special mobile machinery that have license plates, rental decals, or Z-tabs. Mobile equipment with those indicate that a specific ownership tax has been paid in lieu of personal property tax. The assessor may use the provided ledger information to cross-reference the declared original installed costs. Letter G requires the listing of all personal property with an original installed cost of $350 or more that have been fully depreciated or expensed for income tax purposes, but are still used. This allows the assessor to reconcile the general ledger and ensure that such personal property is appropriately accounted for property tax purposes. Since income tax and locally assessed personal property tax rules differ, the assessor uses this information to help avoid omitted taxable personal property issues that may otherwise occur. If the space provided on the declaration schedule is insufficient, owners may simply attach a separate list of such personal property to the declaration schedule. Letter H asks that you identify any leased or loaned personal property at this location. Although there are a few exceptions, as a general rule, you are only responsible for property taxes on personal property you own. However, the form requests that you provide information to the assessor on property you may not own but that is located at this address. You are asked to identify owner's or lessor's name, address, and telephone number. There is also space for the personal property description, including model, serial number, capacity, whether it is new or used, the total cost of the lease, original installed cost, lease number, lease term, and annual rent. Note that the H1 area is designated for general leased, loaned, or rented personal property, and the H2 area is designated for leased, loaned, or rented mobile equipment. The assessor uses the information in this area to prevent potential double assessment and omitted personal property issues while gathering helpful valuation data. Be sure to check the appropriate boxes throughout letter H to clarify the property that you have at this location and provide related helpful discovery and valuation information for the assessor. Letter I requests that you check the appropriate boxes regarding any renewable energy property at this location. If you indicated that you are the owner of renewable energy property, you are directed to complete the Renewable Property Form DS-058 for that property and file it with the assessor. The information collected in this area acts as a renewable energy property discovery source for the assessor and reminder of filing requirements and resources for the owners of such property. Letter J establishes an affidavit that the party preparing the declaration schedule has reviewed all of the responses and asserts that those responses are accurate to the best of their knowledge. It also includes a checkbox reminding new agents to submit a letter of authorization when filing the declaration schedule. In addition, this area closes with a bolded reminder for the owner or authorized agent to complete, sign, and return the declaration to the assessor on or before the April 15th filing deadline. The requested contact information will allow the assessor to contact the party with any questions they may have. The property owner's federal employer identification number or social security number, as well as the phone number, fax number, and email information provided here are confidential and will not be shared by the assessor with any other party. Thank you for watching. We hope this video helps explain the process of completing the DS-056 Personal Property Declaration Schedule. If you have additional questions, we suggest you call your local county assessor or contact the Colorado Division of Property Taxation at 303-864-7777.